point where I kind of turned my back completely on God was probably in the 10th grade when I got my boyfriend, who I loved, and we were just completely in love with one another. And so for me, it started off with sexual sin, and at the time I really didn't even think it was a bad thing. I just kind of thought, like, this is what everybody else is doing in high school, and so that's what I'm doing too. And he's been my boyfriend for a while, so it's okay. And then after, we ended up breaking up. And so I started drinking a lot more and just going to parties all the time and doing drugs still, and still having sex too, all throughout my first year.
My senior year in high school, I started making a few decisions that weren't me. I don't know why I chose to make those decisions, but I met a guy and fell in love with him. Thought this guy was the one, and my family didn't like him. Well, they didn't support me dating him. They felt like he wasn't the one, and they told me I needed to break it off with him, and I just couldn't. I couldn't do it because I had finally fell in love with somebody.
We started getting into the heavy drugs again, and we're even deeper into the porn. I was highly addicted to looking at porn at the time. I'd wake up in the morning and have to look at porn right away. It was an addiction in itself, and it possessed me. It seemed like a worse addiction at the time than drugs for me.
Into about when I was 17, I started drinking just to fit in. I thought all the cool kids were doing it, so that must be the thing to do. Eventually I became the kid that I drank with or without my friends. It just kind of became a habit for me.
That day, I gave my life back to the Lord, and me and my whole family, we prayed together, and we just sat in prayer with one another, and it was just an amazing day where me and God I knew like the full truth of Him and who He was in my life.
Lord, you're near.
And just stripped my life away of all the bad, and I did. I stopped hanging out with all those friends. I completely gave up drinking, gave up everything cold turkey, made all these sacrifices.
It was then when God told me that you don't have to turn back ever to drugs, that this is it. Your prayer that you said at home was your start, but this is a finish. He told me right then and there that I was healed. I heard it as plain as day. He said, you don't ever have to go back to meth. You're healed. And my body began to just sweat. I was sweating so bad. I had my cousin Jody on the left and my cousin Natalie on the right, and they were praying for me. And I was just standing there, and I had this peace in my life like I've never had in my entire life.
I remember just sitting there, and then they did the baptismal, and just watching all them kids get up and not caring what they look like, they got baptized in their clothes. And I just felt God so strong that night that I couldn't resist. I had no choice. I could no longer fight it. So I remember getting up, and my cousin went up with me, and we just stood in line to get baptized, and a guy I didn't even know came up to me and started talking to me, and I prayed with him, and I just cried uncontrollably.
Tonight the stars speak of your infinite love, and it serves to remind me.
I'm getting involved in life groups. I have a good group of girls that surround me and hold me accountable for the things I've said I've wanted to do and change in my life. And I just know now it's time to be real.
And I'm building new relationships and learning how to love others again, and grow close to God and find my confidence in God and not in relationships. It's really helped me a lot for people just to love me unconditionally.
Since then, I have never used meth again, and this is it. This is what God has done for me, you know? He's healed me. And I was a person that could not be healed, but he did it for me.
In it. I just started going downtown and helping out to feed the homeless for Cherry Street Missions on Saturdays. I'm trying to get as involved in the church as I can. I'm plugged into the life groups every Tuesday. When I run into my old friends, they're always saying, "Brad, you're always smiling, you're always smiling." And for me, that just shows that God is working through me, and God is showing them that I'm a different person now. A lot of times Christians wonder why their prayers aren't being answered, why they're not getting the Christian friends that they're praying for. But for me, that all came when I made the decision to change my life. You might be sitting in your seat watching this right now thinking, I can't do that, I can't make that change. But I'm telling you right now that with God you can do anything. If you would have told me 3 years ago that I'd be sitting here today, I'd have told you you were crazy. This is my story, this is my life, and this is real.